What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night. That means it's time for the listening session. What's up, Peter Martin?
What's up, Adam? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. I'm looking forward to tonight, but it's a mystery. Tonight is a mystery sesh.
It is a mystery. Do you want? Should we? Well, it's a mystery to everyone, and it was going to be a mystery to you as well. But I did text you about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago.
Well, someone's got to play the music.
Yeah, I realized you're the one who kind of pulls up the music, and you had to clear rights with the record label. We always do that, of course.
Yeah, we got to cut a check to the record label. Yep.
Yeah, luckily we have relationships with all these labels, so we can do that even in 30 minutes on a Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. East Coast time. We know people, so we're just like, yo, we're going to use this. We're on the scene.
We're on the scene.
Exactly. So, so this is, we could probably do like a big reveal, but we could say, what's up? Oh, I see Zigaboo Molest's name. Not on that. Now, that would be exciting. Uh-oh. You lost me. Hold on.
Yeah, that's just a cat.
Sorry, my mom's calling right now.
Oh, that's great. You should answer. You should answer.
Wait, what the heck?
Whoa. Hey, so hold on.
That's not the record. That's to throw you off the set.
I was gonna say, hold on. We got Dave from Winnipeg, right?
What's up, Dave?
Look what Dave says.
What? New Orleans drumming, Herlin Riley, maybe his album Perpetual Optimism or something.
Dave!
Whoa! Dave, you won.
You nailed it.
You nailed it. Wow.
Holy smokes. You're right on the money. That?
So we did drop the hint. Was that yesterday?
That is such a random guess, Dave. Good job.
I know. Man, that's incredible. That's incredible. Hold on a second.
All right, Peter left again. Did Peter drop a hint, Dave? Is that what happened?
Sorry. Literally, like, because of this new setup, I'm using my phone right now.
Yeah.
For the camera. My mom keeps calling, which is funny because she usually watches this. She keeps calling and interrupts the stream. I don't even know what to do.
Just bring her on, man. Give her the number to the stream.
That would be something. So yes, Dave is a genius. Yeah, because what did we say? What did we say yesterday? Exactly. It was, I think the only hint was New Orleans drumming, which of course Herlin Riley is the consummate New Orleans drummer for sure. But still, to nail this record.
Oh, on the podcast yesterday we said New Orleans drumming on the You'll Hear It Live. That's right.
Yeah, and I talk about how much I love this record all the time.
It is.
I think I played one of the tracks before.
And okay, so Dave, you're not that big of a
yeah. Dave, you're just stating the obvious.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious actually, as it turns out. But you know what, though, man, I am very excited about this. I love this album. It's such a good album. I think it's kind of slept on too. I don't know what you think about this, but I feel like this album doesn't get as much credit as it might deserve. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Am I wrong about that?
Well, no. I mean, it's a new record. You know how, like, I mean, what is it? 2000. I'm going to look it up, but I think it's 2000.
2019. It's
2019. Yeah, they probably recorded 20. Yeah, and I mean, you know, a lot of stuff got kind of weird when the pandemic period started. But I feel like, hopefully, in our own little way, maybe we can bring back the excitement. Like, I feel like we've gotten to this period where, for really at least 10 years now, where new jazz releases, great jazz releases like this, they have to like get momentum over like a year or 2 years or 3 years or even 5 years before they're really validated and people talk about it. I remember back when a record dropped and it was like, man, this is happening. Or maybe it's not happening, but something was talked about. And so I think we need to start acknowledging, I mean, even the fact that we're talking about, wow, this is such a new release and it's really not that new, a couple of years old, you know, kind of speaks to that. We have been talking about having a commitment to really featuring new releases in addition to the old chestnuts, as we would say here at the Tuesday Night Sesh, right?
Yeah, but this is kind of a modern classic, isn't it? This is like a modern classic
so.
from the last couple of years. So this is Herlin Riley, of course, on drums and vocals, it says here in the credits. Emmet Cohen on piano. This is the next Oscar Peterson, you could say.
Well, you got to find out on Thursday on the You'll Hear podcast for this week whether or not.
No, he's Emmett's definitely his own musician and an incredible pianist. Russell Hall on the bass, Godwin Lewis on the alto saxophone, and Bruce Harris on the trumpet. That's exciting, man. This is going to be a good sesh. If you don't know this album yet, buckle in because
where you been?
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy this night. This is gonna be a good night for you. And if you
And
don't,
big shout out to Mac Avenue. This is a Mac Avenue. Mac Avenue's releasing some great records. They got a little flack because early on, well, I mean, throughout, Mac Avenue will drop a smooth jazz record. Don't think they won't do that.
They're not.
They will
drop
a smooth. They're not scared to go to like the San Jose Smooth Jazz Festival and document, and shill a smooth jazz record. But they actually make some good smooth jazz. I think I played on a smooth jazz record on Mac Avenue. But they're also dropped just some gems like this, which I think is great.
Mac from Detroit, yeah, they're doing the Lard's work up there, man, in Detroit.
Yeah.
So thanks to Mac Avenue for making good records like this from Herlin Riley. And then if you don't know Herlin Riley's playing, well, first of all, where you been? But secondly, again,
get off our sesh. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but actually, though, if you haven't, I'm kind of excited for you because you're gonna you're gonna find a new discovery here, and then you can go through and listen to all of his great music. So, shall we begin?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I mean, it's almost getting to be a cliche at this point, week after week of like, this opening track, it sets the tone, but this one sets the tone. It's everything to me that represents Hurlin, in that it's deeply rooted in the best aspects of the tradition of this music, and it feels amazing. It feels incredible.
Yeah.
And like I mean, I know you wouldn't know anything about this, but it's got that New Orleans, obviously traditional flavor, but like he's spent some time in New York City. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like it's got that sophistication with it as well.
Yep.
It's just a beautiful mix of players and artists. It's wonderful.
Well, he's got a bunch of New York guys on there too, young guys.
That helps
some of them.
That helps with that, yeah. But I mean,
and Hurlin always likes doing that. He likes mixing it up. He doesn't like to only play with New Orleans guys, although he does like to doing that sometimes. But he's very open. Perpetual optimism. That tells you everything. If you don't know Hurlin personally, like the way that he sounds, especially playing the tambourine, the cymbal, the whole instrument, like I think anytime somebody becomes a master, technician and just musician, like where they can really, to me, the ultimate level of technique is channeling your personality through your instrument. Like you've got the chops and do that. And drums is kind of it's not necessarily a difficult instrument to channel your personality, but to do it in a way that can have all the different nuances to really bring that out, it's a little bit harder, especially when you're not with a group. And so I think Hurlin's so good at, I mean, this is, his music and his group and his album. So it's like it really shines through. But even when he's playing with, Ahmad Jamal Trio, and there's some, great recordings of that. And Wynton Marsalis, of course, he had a long tenure in just different situations. He has kind of an outsized personality, and he has the technique and the musicianship to be able to bring that out in pretty much any situation he's in.
Yeah, agreed. And just shout out to again young Emmet Cohen, just killing on this like he is on everything. Such a perfect.
Russell Hall was. I mean, I always like Russell. I have a funny story about Russell. I could tell it later if anybody really wants to hear it. It's pretty funny, but
no one does. I'm sure.
Okay, good.
No, I'm sure. Yeah. No, tell it later.
No, we'll do it later. That'll be like a little, to keep them on the stream. I mean, the music's gonna keep them on the stream anyway, so that's no problem.
So let's check out the next track. This is and actually you want to do let's do the next track because I want to talk about then before Borders Without Lines for sure. So,
that's my jam, man. You know what I'm saying?
Jam. Yeah.
That's my jam.
Is Be There When I Get There.
So great. So great. Come on.
How good have both of these endings been so far? Just an unexpected ending where they just kind of let the tape roll seemingly. I mean, but it's possible that was part of the original arrangement even. That's great.
Yeah, well, and on the first track, I think that you had a little bit of segue, you know, some, am I looking kind of like a robot? Because I'm not trying to, but this happens sometimes.
Hold on. You think maybe hold on. Well, we can test this. Hold on. This is the end of the first track, Rush Hour. Let's see what's happening. So
wait, go back a little earlier.
Okay. They're little theatrical interludes almost, you know, and then you can hear it again.
I love that.
You can hear it again at the end of the second track. Be there when I get there. This is what's nice about having our show here.
Exactly. We do it the way we want to do it.
You think that's the end, right? Those little hits.
Right.
That's how I would end it. But I'm corny. Yeah.
he said, "I'm corny." You're not corny.
Listen to that.
Oh, so cool. That's so cool. And this is what you get at the set. But I mean, like sitting down and listening to the record from beginning to end and where this is going to go next. It's just so awesome.
Man.
Now, somebody was asking about his Herlin's writing and arranging style.
Yeah.
And just complimenting him. Let's talk a little bit about that because I've actually recorded some with him and played with him a bunch. And I love Herlin. I love his playing. And I can tell you that compositionally, first of all, he's a really good, he's a multi-instrumentalist. He can play piano. He can play trumpet surprisingly well. He can make a gig on trumpet. He could make a gig on trumpet. Did he start on trumpet maybe? But he's got that. And so, but like you heard all that, like he writes the way, like from the drums though, you know what I mean? And like, he'll sing different things and then write them out. And they're very much the way that he plays solos and fills and different things. So it's very much coming forth from the drum. He thinks about the drums or hears it orchestrally, like a big band, like an orchestra, like a trio, whatever it is, even when it's by itself. So even in ways that we can't hear the drums, he can hear it like that. And I think that that's a special skill. You talk about, the tradition in New Orleans coming up, Vernell Fournier and Herlin Riley, Johnny Vodakovich. Somebody mentioned Zigaboo Molest for sure. All the great New Orleans drummers. There's such a tradition of that. And Herlin, and then, Herlin's really that connector between the street beat, the funk, the old school New Orleans stuff and the modern jazz. And, none other than Ahmad Jamal, he loved great New Orleans drummers. Just a few, though. And Herlin Riley's, to this day, one of them.
Yeah, man. And then someone else was asking about the engineering, which I agree. It sounds really, really good. The drums especially sound really good. It's Todd Whitelock. It looks like they recorded
Todd Whitelock,
at Avatar, which is a world-class studio, especially for jazz. And then they did a session, too. Have you done anything at Scoring Works in New Orleans?
Oh, of course, yeah.
That was recorded by Torkanowski.
Yeah, that's Torkanowski's studio. That's his little project studio. That was probably some add-in stuff or something, or maybe some vocals, or I don't know, who knows what Herlin. Yeah, Scoring Works with a funny spelling, probably, right?
Yeah. Scoring Works.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But Herlin, look, this I'm gonna tell you. Like, I was gonna talk about Herlin and his personality and everything, and what a great guy he is. I mean, I had some funny stories too I can intersperse, but this is gonna tell it all to you right there. That's Herlin Riley.
Yeah,
like, if you're like, let's go meet and have a coffee, he might show up dressed like that. You don't know. It might happen, but he's going to have that look on his face. Like, he's one of the warmest people and youthful. Herlin is actually 107 years old, which is crazy because he doesn't look it. No, Herlin is not 107. But I can tell you he's not, 41, which is what he pretty much looks like, if that even. But he's just a really exuberant. So, I mean, perpetual optimism. This is not just like a marketing ploy or whatever. That's very much what he brings to the table in terms of music. And then in terms of the hang, he's incredible. One time years ago, this must have been like early 2000s, 2001. We were on tour together with Wynton Marsalis, and we were in Canada. We had like an off day, and somebody invited us. We were like in Ottawa, Canada. And they invited us to like a AAA baseball game. It's the summertime. We've been traveling like for weeks, tour bus, the whole thing. And we get in town and they're like, the owner of the Ottawa Arcs wants to invite anybody to his private box to watch this game. It might not have been AAA. It might have been single A now that I think of it.
Totally. It definitely wasn't AAA.
It was not MLB, I can tell you, but it was affiliated loosely with some MLB team,
Sure.
And so a couple of us were like, cool. It might have just been me and Herlin.
They all have this. It's like the Pittsburgh Pirates uniforms, but there's like a turtle on the front instead of a pirate.
Exactly. Yeah. And you kind of like, oh, these guys are pretty good until the end of the game. You see that like some of their moms are picking them up after the game to take them home. It's like one step above high school, baseball. But no, but this was kind of not a large. I mean, I'm thinking it was AA. It's possible it's AA.
Was it Ross saying, was it the Ottawa Lynx?
It could have been, man. What are they? Are they?
I don't know. Ross just put that up there. I can't vouch for that.
And now that I'm thinking, I'm almost sure it was Ottawa. I don't think it was. Well, no, it could have been Toronto because they had, at that time would have had a. Do they still have a baseball team in Toronto? The Maple Leafs?
Blue Jays, man.
Blue Jays. What I said, the Maple Leafs. No. So anyway, I think just Herlin and I went. Like everybody else was like, no, this is not MLB. We're not going, So we went, Herlin and me were like, yeah, this will be fun. So we go to the game. There's nobody there. Like we're sitting in the box. The guy's nice. We had some drinks. And then he's like, man, he said, this seat is good. He said, but actually, if you go down right behind home plate, just sit there and check it out, and you can kind of try it and see what you like. So we went down there, and then Herlin's like, I'm going to try over here. And then I tried over. He's like, you go over there and let me know. And I remember Herlin just like sitting back, like this. And he's like, yo, Peter, where you at, Peter? We're like yelling to each other. Baseball's a little slow sometimes, a little slow. Sure, and then we went back up to the box, and I remember looking over at Herlin, and Herlin looked at me. He's like, you know what? Not a bad way to spend a day on the road. Not a bad way at all.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. And God bless all the AAA baseball players out there and AA. That's a tough life. They're following their dream. You know what I mean? They're riding in buses.
It is.
It's not much different than being an aspiring jazz musician. There's a lot of similarities, actually, except for except for the only difference is when the AAA guy makes it to the big leagues, the big contract follows. But
exactly,
not quite.
When you go to major leagues in music, it changes, but not that dramatic. It's like a 25% jump. It's not a 2,500% jump for sure.
Well, let's keep it going, man. This next track is something that just to peek behind the scenes, if you were to walk into the Open Studio headquarters at any given time in the last year, even though not many people were walking through there, I was fortunate enough to be going in and out of there sometimes. Because Peter kind of took it over as his personal clubhouse.
Come on, man.
There was about
workspace.
There was about an 85% chance that you would hear two things: an espresso machine brewing, a nice like.
We're not animals. We're not animals.
Not animals. And this next track, Borders Without Lines, from Herlin Riley's Perpetual Optimism. And Peter, let's let this roll into You Don't Know What Love Is, so we can see if there's a potential intentional interlude going on.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to let it roll. And I got to just say this, and I don't want to put this is no requirement for anyone else to think this, but I have to say, I love this track, not just because I love the track. Let me just qualify that. I think that this is one of the finest drum solos that's ever been played. But let me also just temper that to say that
big words
that's ever been played recorded. There's always like legendary things that happen that somebody was like, high or drunk. Right. Like I remember, in the back of this, I went up to a door and said yellow banana, and they let me in through 3 different doorways, and a midget put me under the, But no, I'm saying
that never got recorded. He was born without any arms, and he was the finest drummer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just think it's one of the finest drum solos on record. And then to temper that, I would just say that this is a very ordinary solo, though, for Herlin. So I think it's one of his best recorded. Like another way, and by that I don't mean that it's a pedestrian solo. I mean that I've heard Herlin play this level of solo many, many times, which to me still makes it just as amazing. Like this is very much a great version of something that he can do effortlessly and does because he's Herlin Riley and that's his thing. Mm. And so this is a very authentic representation of like Herlin Riley playing when he's very relaxed at Snug Harbor or whatever. Like he's kind of not super like conscious, I think, about being in the studio in those kind of situations. So you're going to get this kind of performance. But I just think it's such a great combination of both being one of the greatest solos ever and just an average Herlin Riley solo as well.
That's so cool. Well, enjoy, everybody. We're going to do Borders Without Lines, and then we're going to go right into then the standard You Don't Know What Love Is. Herlin Riley, Perpetual Optimism. Man, that has so much potential to be not good, but it's so good. How do they do that, Peter Martin? You know what I'm saying?
Man,
that has potential. Whenever you do the R&B beat on the standard, it's a tightrope walk.
Yes. So, okay, I'm going to tell you, I'll give you a little secret here. This will be like a little instructional situation. Herlin is one of those drummers that can drive, and by drive, I don't mean drive. I mean just drive a rhythm section to be able to pull that off, because he doesn't think, like, this is kind of a New Orleans drummer trick. You're talking about Herlin Riley. I'm talking about Brian Blade. I'm talking about Johnny Bodakovich, Stant Moore, maybe. Although I haven't played with him as much as the other guys, but he's got this thing. Zigaboo, of course. Jeff Clapp, he got in on this. And a bunch of guys I'm Adonis Rose. Adonis Rose is the master of this, where you're playing a straight R&B groove, but it is not like, there's enough of that like kind of backbeat, bang, and that big four is like jumping in there. And so, like, because they don't think about, New Orleans drummers do not think about grooves as being as separate as anybody else that I've seen in the world. I'm sure there's other places that do this too, but like New Orleans drummers just think about grooving, and it's always like the New Orleans, like what everybody else says is like a New Orleans vibe. They never say that. Like I've never been on a gig with Hurlin where he's like, all right, there's going to be a New Orleans vibe on this tune. And that's even if he's just playing the tambourine and like playing a straight New Orleans groove. Everything he plays is the New Orleans vibe. Like that's the seasoning that he's always using. So when he plays R&B, when he plays jazz, that's why that solo on the track before this to me is so amazing. Like his drums are tuned like a kind of like a rock toms, and like there's some crazy stuff going on because he hears music in a very all-inclusive way. And so the lens with which he plays, he's a jazz drummer, but it's like the New Orleans thing is there, the funk, the backbeat, all that's there in such a cool and authentic. And I mean, come on, check this out. That tells you right there. Come on.
That's all you need to know.
You know what I mean? Let's get us out of there.
That's all you need to know.
That's Hurlin just chilling by the bayou in New Orleans. So when you're doing that, wow, that's weird. There we go. You know, that's really the same kind of attitude that he plays with. But yeah, I mean, he's just a master of that with the R&B group. I love playing. I mean, I've like vamped with him at Snug Harbor. I can still remember what he looks like across the stage and just the joy that would bring me and the inspiration it would give me to play for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, man, there's something to that city. We were down there not that long ago, like almost a year ago, a little over a year ago now. And I just remember, you know, walking around that city and you were, first of all, you lived everywhere around there. We'd be walking around and people would be like, I live there. I was
a young jazz musician. You know how that is, man. You keep getting evicted or you got to move or you leave one lady, you go to another, you know, you never know what's happening.
But it's true. You would never expect the musicians down to be like, you want to do something with like a New Orleans vibe. That's just the vibe. But what is it about? We've talked about this before. What is it about that place and that the history? Is it the history? Is it what is it? Is the culture, overall culture? Why do things feel so much better? Is it because there seems to be such an emphasis on the groove, on the pocket, right? You know, it's like that is where the emphasis in the music is placed. Like we talked about this before, you got to feel good. Everybody feels good. Like there's no being a musician down there and you don't feel, and you can't make it feel good, you know?
Right. And you know what? I'm really not an expert on why it is there. I'm kind of not necessarily an expert. I know what it feels like. I know how to play it. I know how to interact with it. I don't know why the particulars. I mean, I've heard different things of like intersections of cultures being there and certain things being allowed that weren't allowed other places. It's easier for me to kind of make a parallel with the food and the way the unique, you know, Creole and Cajun cuisines, which are definitely combinations of different cultures and places from far away and close by, filtered through the food that, you know, the produce and the meats and seafoods, of course, that were available there. But I think that it's the same thing with the food, man. It's got to feel good. It can't be like so precious. Although, you know, you can do it precious too, but it has to have those elements. I mean, I took you to some of the joints. I fell off I think I fell off the plant-based bandwagon at one place only. Right.
Well, remember we went to a restaurant down there that I found, which was like, you know how my instincts are. Like I was thinking like, okay, this is gonna. You're
like straight Yelp.
This is gonna break the New Orleans belt. Yeah, this is gonna be the hipster central. This is like, you know, like, and they brought the flavor. Like it was still had the vibe of the city. It was still felt very much like a New Orleans dinner. It was amazing. I don't even know what that place was. It was like Russian and Thai place.
That's right.
It was the
first night when we were like in the warehouse district around the corner. That place was dope,
this was
too.
when it was like Peter Schlam and Rachel Morgan and the whole crew. Remember that? We went out. And we went to Snug Harbor afterwards.
That was the Brazilian.
Yeah, it was like,
plant. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There was a lot of plant-based stuff there. Yeah, that's right. But remember the place we went? Wait, is this a listening session or a restaurant review? What's going on?
We thought that Brazilian place was going to be fussy because it was plant-based and it was kind of hipster vibe or whatever. But it was but it was so earthy and down home.
That's right.
When you could like taste the food, I was like, man, it's like the music too. It's like even when it's sophisticated like this, right? It always still feels very human and very like the city, you know.
And that's Hurlin Riley in a nutshell in terms of his music and what he brings to the table. It's like if you go to New Orleans and you never leave if you go on the French Quarter, you get like a caricature, a Disney World version I mean, an X-rated Disney World version, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, but you get a lot of like cover bands and just weird like debauchery, but kind of like, you know, people from Iowa throwing up on the, you know, from drinking hurricanes. It's kind of a weird thing. Yeah. But I think that what you get, in the other restaurants and the music is this wonderful, you know, joyfulness of life. And, you know, well, okay, let's just say Herlin as an example of like a great modern jazz musician from New Orleans, and there is no better one than him. There's other great ones, but there's no. Oh, let me just throw Shannon Powell. I should have mentioned his name when I was talking about Brian Blade and Stan Moore and all these, Johnny Vidal. Look, if you talk about the Trinity, you know the Trinity is very important, obviously for the Catholic religion, St. Louis, New Orleans, and France, and the whole thing. But there's a Trinity in Creole cooking too, which I believe is celery. What is it? Celery, garlic, and green pepper, I think, that you start to make the roux and stuff. There's that Trinity. But we have the Trinity of New Orleans drummers, which is Herlin Riley, Shannon Powell, Johnny Vodakovich. Like you talk about, and then there's others. I'm not saying that those are the only three, but like that's a, you know, and I think it was Brian Blade that actually came up with that and talks about that, you know, and Brian Blade should certainly be in the discussion too. But you've got just really some masters with the amount of personality between those three guys and the amount of music that's sprung forth from them in so many different directions, and the number of bands and great artists that they've inspired it's just awe-inspiring. And I think so when you see somebody like Herlin step out on, and he's done other records on his own as well, and they're always, he did New Directions and earlier Mac Avenue. I think it was his first Mac Avenue.
That's a great album too.
Yeah. But I'm getting excited, man. I love me some Herlin Riley. I'm not going to lie. Sue me. I love Herlin Riley.
Well, let's keep it going here. So this is the title track that's up next, Perpetual Optimism. And then let's roll it on through Touched. Cool?
Yep.
Here we go. It's a heck of a vibe there. Heck of a vibe.
Such a vibe.
I love all those counter melodies that were obviously written into the arrangement.
Man, Emmet is phrasing that very well AF, as we say.
Man. He's a good player, man. I mean,
he's a good player, man. I'm getting more. I mean, I've always loved his playing, but like his maturity level is,
Actually, even from this, like when I hear him now, you know, he's matured in the last 2 years since he made this. It's crazy.
Yeah. And this would be a good time to just drop in that on Thursday. Do you know what's happening on Thursday, Adam Maness?
Okay, so tomorrow is Edu and Jorge Rossi. We talked about that, right?
No, we didn't talk about that yet. Drop a little knowledge about that.
So tomorrow we're doing an Open Studio here, right on the Open Studio YouTube channel. One of the greatest drummers in the world, Edu Ribeiro, is interviewing another one of the greatest drummers in the world, Jorge Rossi. So you can check that out here. I believe that's at 5 p.m. Eastern, maybe 6 p.m. Eastern. Rachel will tell me. But you can check that out on the schedule. But what's going on Thursday, Peter?
So Thursday, our big episode this week is dropping our You'll Hear It podcast. And you guys, if you want, just drop in the comments here if you're a fan, or maybe you don't know about the pod. Maybe you don't know what a podcast is. Maybe you don't have an iPod, because that's how you can listen to a podcast, right? With an iPod.
I think so, but I think technically even what we're doing now is listed as You'll Hear It. It's like the You'll Hear It listening sesh. I think so.
Oh, is it? That's just everything. Like Adam, when we're allowed to go back to restaurants and we go like, let's go meet with your family and mine for dinner. It's a You'll Hear It dinner, right?
I think
everything's branded.
Where our branding is on point. It's on point for sure.
Tell all your kids to wear You'll Hear It t-shirts when we meet up.
They already have their You'll Hear It t-shirts. Actually, I told my daughter has she's got a men's large You'll Hear It t-shirt that sometimes she wears as a nightgown because she's 10 and it's huge on her. And she was wearing it the other day, and she was talking about taking the school bus next year. And I was like, well, yeah, you can take the school bus, but I'm going to make you wear that shirt with your dad's picture on it.
That's right.
She's like, no!
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I've been trapped in the house with you for 10 months. Now I got to wear your shirt.
Zach, I can't tell if you're serious or not. You two have a podcast? Come on, man.
Exactly. Sorry. No, but okay. So those of you that are fans of the podcast, if not, you're invited. I don't know if you're familiar with a free entertainment like this, but our podcast is available. We did for 2 years. I'm very proud of this. 2 years plus a daily podcast, which is crazy.
That was a slog, man. I mean,
whose idea was that, man? That
was crazy. That was great, though. That was great. We got over 700 episodes in those 2 years.
That's crazy. So we did one daily, and then we decided, was that going into this year, or was that even back? Yeah, it was kind of around the 2020. Well, we did go to 5 days a week at a certain point, too.
Yeah, that was early on, though. But I think it was in the pandemic, then we kind of flirted with 3 days a week, and then what happened really was we just kind of, for our own sanity, wanted to just switch it up, because the thing with doing a podcast 5 days a week is you don't really have time to do a lot of prep work on each episode. You got 5 episodes, they're 15 minutes long. So we would kind of come up with topics and discuss each one very minimally before we would record it, which is fine because, we like to be off the cuff here a little bit, like right now.
Really? I didn't notice.
Yeah. But we decided to kind of take our time with these and what would happen if we went on a deep dive of some of these topics? And so we cut back to once a week, which is a more manageable podcast schedule. And I'm really digging it, man. The one that we recorded, which is coming up on Thursday, I think might be our best one. We did Rorschach Melodies last week. Didn't get as much traction.
I love that one.
That was fun, but
we didn't get traction on that.
We didn't get as many people that were like in on it as I was hoping, but
it's still there too. It's evergreen, so you can go check that out because that's got like a kind of play along situation. But also, I mean, we talked about wanting to do longer episodes because remember we get into something where like, oh wait, stop. It's every day. We don't want to go over 20 minutes. We were trying to be careful. Now, it's like the handcuffs are off. And so we're really enjoying, I think this was maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes or something this week.
Yeah, about 45, I think.
Yeah,
45.
But tell them the name of the episode. Tell them the name of the episode because that's it's a little controversial.
It's controversial. Is it the official name is Who is the next Oscar Peterson? Something like that.
Who's the next Oscar Peterson?
Who's
the only controversy is whether or not we're going to say who's the next Oscar Peterson or who is the next Oscar Peterson.
Well, the whole episode
be like,
is like, we were listening to all these great young pianists, these amazing musicians, and then Peter's like, are they the next Oscar Peterson?
Well, that's the episode. That's right. That was the concept, right? So you got to tune in on Thursday. It's going to drop at 3 a.m.
Yeah. You got to listen to it for yourself. But yeah, that's basically it. But so thanks. Actually, we should give a shout out to all you You'll Hear It listeners out there for keeping the podcast going for so long. I mean, it's really been amazing. Yeah. We've got such a great group of listeners. So cool. And
the exciting thing that's around the corner too is that we've got, Open Studios has a podcast network that consists of one podcast, the You'll Hear It podcast, as well as two dormant podcasts called The Process and 2 Minute Jazz. But we're about to get another one. We can't talk about it too much because we don't want to jinx it, but it's coming around the pike that's featuring a couple of bass players that we're super excited about, and they're recording. So we're about to blow this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it's going to happen. Yeah, we got a brand new podcast just for our bass player friends coming out very, very soon, featuring two phenomenal musicians. So looking forward to that.
Right. Yep.
Cool. I see cool. Joe loved The Process. I love The Process too, Joe. That was a fun long form project.
That was produced by you, Adam. See, Joe, this was the thing. See, Joe, you were always, you always on, being our big fan and supporter of the podcast. But then you threw a shade when we went. You were the most observant one. You saw when we went from 7 to 5, from 5 to 3, put a lot of pressure on us internally. Well, the idea now with the weekly is really to kind of get to the process level in terms of length, just thought behind it, and really being able to go on a deep dive each week. So that's sort of where we're going.
Let's listen to some more music from Herlin Riley, shall we?
That's what we're here for.
Let's do a little Wings and Roots and then follow that up with a little Wang Dang Doodle.
Bam.
tell automatic slim, tell razor toting Jim, tell butcher knife toting Andy, tell fast talking Danny. We gonna pitch a ball down to that old Union Hall. We gonna rump and trump till midnight. We gonna fuss and fight till daylight. We gonna pitch it, Wayne and Doodle all night long. We gonna pitch it, Wayne and Doodle with you all night long. All night long, all night long, all night long, all night long. We gonna pitch it, Wayne and Doodle all night long. Tell Cooter, calling red. Tell Albert, Senior and Ned. Now won't you tell old Pistol Peter? Tell everybody he meets. Tonight we don't need no rest. Gonna really, really throw a mess, y'all. We gonna knock out all of the windows. We gonna kick down all the doors. We gonna pitch it, Wayne and Doodle all night long. We gonna pitch it, Wayne and Doodle all night long. All night long, all night long, all night long, all night long. We gonna pitch you, Wayne and Doodle all night long. Waiting on the sun to come up. Washboat Sam that everybody's gonna jam. Tell Shaky, Boxcar Joe, we got sawdust on the floor. Tell Peggy, Caroline down, we gonna have a heck of a time. And when the fish bump fills the air, there'll be some snuff juice everywhere. We gonna pitch it, Wayne and Doodle all night long. We gonna pitch it, Wayne and Doodle all night long. All night long, all night long, all night long, all night long. 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 We gonna pitch it, wang dang, all night long.
Man, I love the arrangement here. All of these endings are so terrific.
Yes.
So unexpected, you know. Very simple, but very unexpected. I love Mr. Tuber 909. That rim shot is cleaner than my shoes.
Woo! That's not like a man or a woman with some clean shoes right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
Mr. Two. I mean, that's yeah. Rim shot, the toms, all that is like Herlin has that sound. Like I've seen Herlin tune his drums. It's one of the most. Well, I mean, this is really a thing of all great drummers. We see this. Like it's a very deliberate. Some of them take forever to do it. Some of them are quick. But the great drummers, like they know what they want to get out. They're not trying to tune it like somebody else. Like they're in there saying, okay, this is. They've got that sound in their mind already. And Herlin's thing is so distinctive, so distinctive. And the thing he does on the tom, where he licks his finger, then woo, that's why he's got him tuned like that. Like that's, it's a beautiful thing.
So we can get that kind of talking drum sound.
Yep.
So let's let's listen to Stella by Starlight. Ever heard of it? And
yeah.
we can do, and then we'll go out on 12s, and then we can talk about what we're going to do next week. There's some, we have some suggestions here. I think Rachel Morgan left us a suggestion as well, but that's
right.
Stella.
And I got to check the dates of Fat Tuesday. I know we got Mardi Gras coming up soon, which is always, you know,
that could be a fun night. Were we doing this last Fat Tuesday?
No, because we were no. Pandemic started after Fat, because I was actually down in New Orleans. Again, we were there, and then I was there after.
That's right.
Fat Tuesday of Mardi Gras.
That's right.
So it was after.
All right, here's Stella by Starlight.
Yep.
was lovely. Not much to that, but that was happening. Hold on, you're muted.
Sorry. Come on. How long have we been doing this? It's like a Zoom meeting early in the morning. Hello, you're muted.
I saw a coffee mug the other day. It was $30 and I almost got it. It just said you're muted. I thought it was just great. Zach says, thanks for this sentiment, Zach. Some weeks I know the album like an old friend, and others like this one, it's totally new, but it's always a great time. You know what, Zach, what's so cool about that is that's kind of how it is for Peter and I too, I think. Sometimes we bring in things that one of us knows really, really well and the other one might know of or have heard but isn't as familiar with. This is definitely one that I have listened to, but I know, Peter, you've been really into this, and I'm just getting into this more. So I'm happy to take this journey with most of you.
Sue me because I love this album. Guilty as charged.
Yeah, no.
Zach is an attorney. Zach is an attorney at law, so he can help me in my defense. Zach, can you defend me in this assault? See,
we've got a hostile witness here, Your Honor. Man, did you see this video going around today of the guy? There was some hearing with a judge and two lawyers, and one of the lawyers gets on the Zoom chat, and one of his kids had turned a filter on that made him look like a cat face.
No,
and he couldn't figure it out. And so he's like, Your Honor, I'm not a cat. I'm here live. It's hilarious, man. You got to check it out. It's really, really funny.
That's good. That's good. No, the one I saw going around today was the one with it's like Tom Brady celebrating with his son. It was like a meme, Tom Brady. Then they had like a little Patrick Mahomes on his shoulders, like he was his son. I was like, that's so wrong. It's so wrong, man. Come on. Yeah. Big shout out to Kansas City.
Keep on barbecuing.
Keep on barbecuing. So you know what's cool about that track? I was thinking about that Stella by Starlight, and is that's a very kind of New Orleans thing that we do, where you'll break it down in the set to trio. I mean, maybe that's not just New Orleans. Maybe other places do that. But does that happen in say like if it's a quintet gig where you're like, all right, we're just gonna do a trio tune?
Yeah.
Often does that happen? Okay, dang.
Yeah, it happens.
See, we try to claim everything. Like, the Trinity. Well, gumbo. We definitely came up with gumbo. Let's be clear about that. That didn't come from St. Louis.
There was a New Orleans thing in there, like the piano player was playing some chords. See, and that's what we do in New Orleans.
So we can't have everything. Okay, that's okay. That's all right. Well, this last tune for sure is a New Orleans classic. Do we need to talk about any housekeeping? Do you want to talk about it next week? We could do a surprise. I know Rachel Morgan has something on tap, so that would be something exciting, but we could also do, this was kind of a surprise coming from me.
Yeah.
Like you could do one coming from you, or I know
what Rachel wants to do, and we can do that. I think we could do that, but I want to get back to a classic, like an older classic. I have something in mind, we haven't done, an artist that we haven't done much of. I think we might have done a little bit from him.
Can I if I throw a hint out, will you tell me if I'm on to the scent or not?
Sure, yeah. I doubt you're going to
K-O-B? Are those initials mean anything to you?
I think we've already done that. Haven't we already done that?
Oh, yeah, of course we have, man.
Yeah, we've already done that. No, this isn't Miles, but I'll hint, it is a trumpet player.
Freddie.
No.
Woody. Is it is it someone at the stature where you could say one name? Winton, Freddie, Woody, Clifford. Oh, I think it's Clifford Brown.
It might be Clifford Brown.
Yeah, I see. Like you got to add him.
We've done.
We haven't done Clifford Brown.
We did Sarah Vaughan and Clifford Brown, but I want to do the Maxwell's Clifford Brown stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, that'd be great.
That is like all the Joy Spring and Sandu and all that stuff. That's something we haven't hit, and that is so good, man.
But you know who else we haven't hit that we could combo pack it is Clifford Brown, and you may not know this record actually. A lot of folks may not know this. Clifford Brown with Lou Donaldson and Art Blakey live at Birdland. Are you familiar with that record?
I think I've heard it, but I don't know. No, I don't. It's not like one of my.
I'm not trying to co-opt your Clifford. We can talk about this. We got a week, but that might be. If drop in the comments if you guys know that record, because if that's not well known, I would like to do it sometime. It doesn't have to be next week, but that's a hell of a record. And I'm a big Lou Donaldson fan, and I got some great Lou Donaldson stories.
You are,
and I got a Lou Donaldson voice too. Now, come on, watch yourself. Come on. So Lee Morgan, of course. Yeah, we've got some good stuff that we that we haven't. Chet Baker. We haven't touched on Chet Baker at all. And that's somebody I don't know. I mean, I know his singing and style so well, but I don't know his records per se. Although there's a couple. Lou Donaldson is the man for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Max Roach and Clifford. It doesn't get any more classic than that. But I think you'd like that live at Birdland.
I know. I'm just saying those Max Roach Clifford Brown albums are, I think, as classic as any of the classics we've done, and might need some love. Some Dexter Gordon could use some love. God. Actually, that's someone we haven't done. Come on, anything.
Adam.
We've not done.
Adam, you are so exclusionary. Gordon. You know what? Every week on Monday, I call Adam and I say, "Stop with the closed club when your exclusionary attitude." And Adam's very bad about that. My bad.
See, Diminished Fifth says Max and Clifford, yes. So that's a second for that.
Well, of course. What are you going to say no? Like vote it down?
It's all good. Well, luckily we've got a plethora. We're swimming in riches here in this genre, so we won't go wrong. We won't lead you astray. But I think Rachel was wanting to do more of a modern thing, but I think we should go back to some. We spent a lot of weeks here in a row with some new classics, as we'll call them. But let's go back to that stuff a little bit.
Well, it has been nice though to just as a reminder that jazz is forward looking. Not only is forward looking, but there's things happening now.
Dude, it's great.
Great records from the last couple of years. I mean, this is 2019. I mean, this is was Artemis, was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we've played records from 2020, 2019, 2020 was Artemis too.
Yeah. And so that's what this is about, jumping back and checking out the new ones too.
Cool. Well, let's go out here on 12s. What's the story with this song? This is a New Orleans classic.
So 12s. This is written by Ellis Marsalis, and this is kind of kind of his best known song is "Swinging at the Haven." Yeah, but it's funny. A lot of the Ellis tunes and like Nat Paralat, and there was a whole. Actually, let me just throw up one because everybody's like, one thing with Herlin is like he's eternally youthful. He's known as like one of the most in shape, just like he's always stays in shape. He's super healthy. He's not like, is it funny? Herlin Riley looks like he's like a marathon runner and like that he works out. And I play basketball. He's an incredible athlete, yet you never actually see him working out. He somehow, I'm sure he does because you don't like stay in that great shape and stay healthy. You never see him eating healthy or working out, yet he's always healthy and looking like he's worked out.
Yeah. He's got like a po' boy in one hand. And he's like crushing it in the other. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's he's just a very youthful guy. But we always think, wow, he never ages. But there was a younger Herlin Riley. Would you like to see it?
Please. Look at that guy.
But he doesn't look that different, actually.
Aside from the hair.
It's just a little longer.
Is it the same suit?
That's what I'm saying. Look, but the hair... It's just longer. I mean, it's the same hairline. He has everything's still happening. It's just a little longer. He's a little younger, but it's like, same size and everything.
Love it.
Big shout out to Herlin Riley. Come on.
I love it. Shout out to all my dudes out there. You can't tell if they're 35 or 70.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, Peter. Thanks, everybody. We will see you back here next week for sure for something good.
That's right. Ellis Marsalis is 12-zip. Peace out, everybody. Love you.
Later. Stay safe.
that can heal your soul. Black or white, rich or poor, young or old. It came to me at an early age, with me all my life as I turn each page. I got a lot of knowledge from folks who taught me. We need to pass it on to people we teach. A great musician who taught a whole lot of fellas. He wrote this tune. His name is Ellis Marcellus. Ellis Marcellus. Great Ellis Marcellus. The Ellis Marcellus. His dad of Branford, Winton, Delphio, and Jason Marcellus. Ellis Marcellus. Ellis Marcellus. The great Ellis Marcellus. 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 Ellis Marcellus.